Thank you, Dion. Crystal, I want to come to you, and it's because Dion just raised this point about how civic engagement mattered at every phase. And so we are beat over the head even when we overperform to turn out in elections, and that's all you were trying to do. And something happened. Talk to us a little bit about your case.
Well, I did FAT time, so I did 2.5 years in FAT. I came home, went back to my same house I've been living in since '08. I went to the same polling place. I voted in 2012. And when I went there, they told me my name was not on the ballot. So I was confused. I'm thinking maybe because I gave my mom, power of attorney of the house over the kids, then that's what it is. I had a 16-year-old tell me that I can fill out a provisional ballot. And I asked him what it was, and he said, if you're at the right location, it'll count, and if you're not, it won't. So I was like, okay, fine. Pulled out my ID, everything matched, filled out this provisional ballot, went away. Next thing you know, I was called to my supervised release officer, and I was arrested for illegally voting. Now, if you guys know, a provisional ballot is not a vote. If it's in place, if you can vote, it'll go forward. If you can't, it stops right there. Well, in 2018, I was sentenced to 5 years for illegally voting, and I'm out right now, still on the appeal bond. January will make 7 years that I'm fighting to not go back to prison and do 5 years. This really upsetted me. The first thing I said was because I'm a mother. I've already left my kids once. I got out here showing my kids, even though you hit that bump in that road, you can get back on track. I was working at Santander. I had a good job, insurance for the kids and everything. But because I was on supervised release, they violated me and put me back in prison. So in Texas, let me give it to you, I completed my time. I did my federal time. I was on something called supervised release, meaning my time was over. I had my supervised release officer testify. I had the supervisor testify in my court, in my trial, saying, hey, we never told her she couldn't vote. She never signed anything saying that she was ineligible to vote. Yet, I'm still out on the appeal bond fighting to stay free. So my story was, when this happened to me, it's like, I'm never voting again. Like, oh no, if this can take me away from my kids, because it did. I had to go back to prison for 10 more months. And I was just like, and it's emotional for me because I'm still living it, so I'm just trying to keep myself together.
We understand, Crystal.
But my worst was I will never vote again. My kids are looking at me say this. Everybody's looking at me say this. I'm saying this on national news. And I was like, you know what? When I did that 10 months, because I felt like that was me and God time, because I kept saying, God, why me? Why me? He said, why not you? You're the prime example of rehabilitation. So I did it. I came back and I told my attorney, Kim T. Cole, I was like, no, that's not what I want to do. I don't want it to be where I'm telling you guys not to vote because you're looking at my story, because that's exactly what they wanted me to do, is scare the black and the brown away from the poll. So I said, no, don't let my story discourage you, but encourage you to go to the polls, because you got to understand, the judge, the DA, the prosecutor, all of them are elected officials that did this to me. So this is the reason why I'm out in the streets knocking on doors telling people, hey, just because you're a felon in Texas, you're eligible to vote again. Know your laws in your states. Know if you're eligible, because we need to get out here to these polls. And we will make a difference. So that's where I'm at right now.